Hey everyone, so I wanted to go do something a bit different in this video, going over my 10 platinum trophies that I've gained in the past 2 years that I've had my PS5. I'm on the way to getting my 11th with the game Final Fantasy 16. However, I've experienced a lot of different games that I've played before and have had a first time experience going over. And with these ratings, I will be focusing on how long the platinum run took me and how much I enjoyed the game overall apart from the collecting trophies. Also wants to clarify with these ratings that I've enjoyed all 10 of these games, however from 10 different genres and gameplay styles. Number 10 obviously being the least enjoyable, but I still think that the game's overall in this platinum trophy run was pretty good and also more simplistic, while number 1 is obviously the best of the best. Now let's start with number 10. Starting off with number 10 is Insomniac's Spider-Man 2, or Marvel's Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 2 is actually a huge reason why I wanted a PS5 in the first place. To put it simply, in a small story, I managed to get my cousin's PlayStation working for $30. Now I have it to this day. Shout out to the guy that fixes PS5s and other electronics for a pretty low price, compared to most places. But with Spider-Man 2, I feel this is a pretty good game overall. Was it worth the $70 hype and me needing to get a PS5? Sort of. I still enjoy the game, and I even recorded my own gameplay of the entire story with this platinum trophy. I honestly thought this game would be harder, so it's only about 16.1% of people who have earned the platinum trophy, which is incredibly easy and simple to go through. I know the game had an update to then do a new game plus, however I didn't really go back to this. Even then I actually enjoyed the game. I actually enjoyed the story, but I am ready for the third installment to come, even if not everyone is really hyped for it. Honestly, like the two other Spider-Man games before it, I say the platinum trophy, you might really enjoy it, especially after a year with the bug and glitches being patched. That being said, I have not platinumed the other two Spider-Man games before. Sorry. Starting off with number 9, we have Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales. So basically this is the other Spider-Man game that I platinum trophy on, and this was also my first platinum trophy. Kind of irrelevant, but I was actually trying to go for Dragon Ball Xenoverse 1 platinum trophy, but that had its long and kind of jank problem. Miles Morales to me feels like a step above what I experienced in the Spider-Man 2, and also feels almost rewarding for what I am doing and what I went through. Not saying that Spider-Man 2 also wasn't a challenge, but in terms of the trophy list itself, it seems simple. I played games on spectacular difficulty to then play Miles Morales on ultimate difficulty, but for the New Game Plus trophy I needed to do. Even Miles Morales, the average swagger of a black teen. I love the moveset in the game compared to Spider-Man 2. A lot of his moveset feels combo worthy and was satisfying to remember. About 5.6% of players have gotten the platinum trophy, but I also see a lot of people played this game and the two other Spider-Man games with it. Hopefully maybe there could be more challenge in the next Spider-Man game and trophy list. With number 8 we have Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. So this is kind of a tough pick. I feel this game falls in the same category as Spider-Man 2 where there was hype, and with the game overall it had its problems, or it kind of felt like there could have been more but there wasn't, and there still isn't much. But reviewing Sparking Zero on the side, this is my first Dragon Ball game I ever got a platinum trophy on, but I wanted to do Xenoverse 1 and 2 probably being my first. But with the RNG and recurring issues with both games, it feels like a slogfest to go through to gain so little. Xenoverse 2 I might do, but I feel the boredom may kill me. Xenoverse 1 I would honestly need a lot more time and support, especially for all my stuff. They can all tell I have very little friends and companions to play with their free time, but that's besides the point. I almost expect this trophy list would be tougher to go through, but it seemed pretty simple too. I was a bit off with this game, but I did manage to get the platinum trophy in the month. Only 2.2% of players have earned this platinum trophy, although I feel it's because not everyone really cared about it overall, the game itself. I definitely had fun with the game and I played with friends for that one time, but expecting the game to be like an improved and bigger version of Budokai Tenkaichi 3, or BT3 to put it shorter, was basically reaching for the stars, and as you haven't even gotten out of bed yet. Also, play 100 matches with this game and with players who like to exploit stuff and only play fusion characters or any other variant of Goku, because that might as well be Dragon Ball games as a whole. This trophy kinda sucked, but I managed to get through it mostly playing match with my brother. Why is this over Spider-Man 2 and Miles Morales though? Because of how much Dragon Ball as a whole resonates with me and how much I enjoyed the series. Just to also point out, my brother managed to get Platinum Trophy in Dragon Ball Fighter Z. We are committed, just don't ask us about Dragon Ball Daima. Number 7, we are at Kingdom Hearts 3. Okay, so this is kind of a weird one. Not tough as Sparking Zero, but kind of a weird one. Also, small spoiler, but expect the 2 mainline Kingdom Hearts games to also be on this list, because I did at least that trilogy. So game overall aside, I do enjoy Kingdom Hearts 3. However, this being my second time playing the game, small story for that, now I also see its problems with the game. Do I still think it's overhated? Yes. Do I think that the game should have maybe been cooked more? Yes. And honestly, from getting the Platinum Trophy in the 2 previous mainline games and also playing the entire collection on the Nintendo Switch Cloud Edition, again, I'll try and make a story on that. It's odd, but I feel like Kingdom Hearts 3 did a lot of different from what I feel fans love in the previous title. However, I also enjoy the game. Overall and how it wraps up the saga. Also missing Link, and we are ready and waiting for Kingdom Hearts 4. Now, I still love Kingdom Hearts a lot. Although I feel this game and its trophy list was just so much to go through. And writing and character arcs aside, it was fun. Until you had to collect and grind for so much. Which happens in other 2K games as well, but I feel those were more faster and easier to go through and didn't feel like a waste. I also played the game in critical mode, and that was actually generally tough. But I feel it was more punishing than how the other games do it. See what complaining gets you? But apart from the difficulty, a lot of the time I spent mainly on collectibles, whether it be Lucky Emblems and Greetings for Remy, yes, the rat from Ratatouille, then also getting an excellent on every dish, Synthesis, which is in every game, Treasure Chest, classic minigames overall, getting a certain high score in those minigames, and also flame minigames. This game took me over 100 hours to platinum, and 3.2% of players have platinum this trophy. Should I also emphasize that I finished the Remind story? It's okay. In terms of the story itself, I honestly felt confused, but I'm basically just doing the final act of the game, but a bit differently, and I don't know why. People say it's a better ending when I wonder why this was a DLC, and why did it have to be a better ending. Understandably, the ending itself was a lot needed to explain, but I don't know where the hell this series is going. I didn't beat all 13 Darknesses to get to Yuzora. I beat Young Xehanort and got stuck on Dark Riku and Marluxia. Didn't feel like spending almost an hour or 2 on them, so I left the game getting a platinum trophy, but not 100% completion. Maybe I'll come back. I still want to try, but there are other games I also want to try and beat. So truth be told, I played Far Cry 5 before this one. I love Far Cry 5 honestly, but I see the hype of Far Cry 3, and I also enjoy it. It's the game that taught me to play poker. Reluctantly, Far Cry 5 has online trophies and a certain fishing trophy I couldn't be bothered trying to do, so I stopped and went to Far Cry 3. Honestly, not much to say for this game. I did enjoy it, especially playing on the second hardest difficulty. It really gave me a challenge. Voss is a cool villain, kinda disappointed it would be Hoyt as the final big bad, even though we barely got much to do with him. But Jason is also a crazy main character. Sorry I killed you a few times, Jason. This platinum trophy honestly was pretty easy, but some trophies were kind of a problem to understand. I got a few collectibles and challenges needed to be done, and honestly I enjoyed the game overall. I'm running this as this 2 to 3 in the morning, and not much to get from the Far Cry series except for Far Cry 5 had some crazy moments that stuck with me there. Also, 6.3% of players obtain this platinum trophy, and honestly, I'd say it's worth it. Number 5, we had the Callisto Protocol. I feel this game falls into games with hype but didn't really live up to it, but I do have to admit something. I really enjoyed this game, like a lot honestly, so much that that I watched what happened in the final transition story. I have weird ideas on DLC. If I really want more from a game, I would actually buy the DLC. But this game was honestly cool and really gave me a scare and creeped me out feel. It's not it's not Dead Space, but if you have never played Dead Space, I mean you have the chance, but I guess you could still get Dead Space. I enjoyed this game, and its platinum trophy is honestly easier and less time consuming than all other 9 trophies I have. So why is this on the number 5 spot? I guess it being a horror game and I actually played New Game Plus for the maximum security difficulty, and I didn't even die. And honestly, the game's story isn't long, like 10 hours from a New Game Plus run. The combat doesn't suck if there are, the combat does suck if there are multiple enemies. But the GRP and guns felt satisfying to me. And as crazy as it sounds, I sometimes enjoy being stealthy in games, Spider-Man included. Around 2.6 amount of players have earned this trophy, but I feel it's more people giving up on the game rather than getting the trophies. Overall, I did love the game, and maybe given the time, I might try another horror game and even go for the trophies if I enjoy it enough. Can you tell I don't enjoy horror games? At number 4, we have Bayonetta. And this is possibly one of my most two unexpected platinum trophies I'd actually go for. But this is the top one. And I still can barely believe I did it, but the joy I felt with this all over, but the sadness realizing that if I want to play sequels, I would need to buy stuff off the Nintendo Switch. I'm just a humble caution, guys, just relax. But this game was honestly so damn good. I wanted to play Bayonetta for myself, but without realizing it was on the PlayStation, the first game really that is, I was glad I bought it for only $8. Something Nintendo couldn't understand. An actual sale on a game that's over a decade old. But I went into this game and wanted to know the story and obscure characters of Bayonetta. And Bayonetta. I really like Bayonetta. Her combos, her Wicked Weave, and Witch Time are so addicting, man. I wish the sequels could be for everyone. But Nintendo did save the series and now it's locked behind Nintendo's hands. Seeing this trophy list, I thought I wasn't going to be able to obtain the Platinum Trophy, but after an amazing and damn well difficult story, with an amazing hack and slash gameplay and combos with different setups and weapons, I did it. From outline portals, basically combat challenges, to even making me have to figure out my own cheese method, playing through the story almost 3 times, but 2 required, which is hard mode and infinity mode, which is basically just hard mode with Witch Time. The signature ability of Bayonetta. Crazy, I managed to do it. There was suggestions on certain item to gain for infinity mode that I had also used in the hard mode just to get a few practices for infinity mode. This game generally influenced me and to even do the Kingdom Hearts Platinum trophies, and also look forward to doing Devil May Cry trilogy. I went into this game looking for a great story and managed to actually get a Platinum trophy, with 2.3% of players getting the Platinum trophy. I do feel Bayonetta is a niche kind of game, mainly focused on Bayonetta herself, but I played the first game and guarantee you might be hooked. If you play Devil May Cry, you kind of have to play this, like how I pretty much have to play Devil May Cry now after playing this game. Finally reached the top 3. If you made it this far, consider liking and maybe even subscribing. I don't upload so much and I'm still getting things together, and I'm working on videos like these to potentially have games and others videos I want to record or stream to share with others like this. So thank you so much, and let's get to our top 3. So back what I said before, I love this series a lot, and I am proud that I did get the Platinum Trophy for this game. I love Kingdom Hearts, and its first game was honestly such an emotional feeling to getting me to the Platinum Trophy. I never grew up playing Kingdom Hearts, I just knew the Keyblade wielding boy sword from everyone else that seems to love him so much. My cousins also had the disc from Kingdom Hearts 1.5 and 2.5 HD remakes for the PS3, and basically from what it was expected to me was that I saw was essentially Disney anime and Final Fantasy characters coming together, and a convoluted storyline with keys, hearts, and power of friendship to go up against darkness. As corny and cheesy as it sounds, I fell in love with this game series and everything it offered except Rechain of Memories. We don't talk about Rechain of Memories on this channel. I still couldn't believe the possibility of Sora coming to Super Smash Bros. As the final character for the Smash Ultimate. I think I I think to point out, I love Sora. I love all the characters in Kingdom Hearts, except young Xehanort. Zigbar is second to that. I actually grew up watching. I actually grew up watching and knowing a lot of the Disney IPs and series. Also introduced me more Final Fantasy characters outside of Final Fantasy VII. It feels like a gamer's dream. Honestly, the thought of the game itself is simple. It feels like a childhood gamer's dream. Honestly, I thought the game itself was pretty simple terms, feels like it wasn't even possible. But even from the 90s to early 2000s, Disney and the company itself trying to focus on the game. This game is great. Proud mode, if you know what you're doing, trust me, the show makes it easier. It feels like a challenge, but if you played the game prior and know the game, it all works out. Honestly, out of all the games in the series, I feel like this game was the thought out most, and in terms of story and combat and character, really looked into more. Still crazy there are sequels and also final mixes, which are usually re-releases of the game, but with added features and few things changed. From the worlds, the bosses, and story alone, to just made this game so damn good, and the Platinum Trophy was even better to feel. I feel like this really completed the entire game as a whole. The secret super bosses were fun and made me think of what I should do differently. Watching guide videos on what I can do better and seeing my general experience. There are two trophies though that felt like a slog to go through. The first being the third gummy ship mission, that was a pain and a lot to go through and expected. The gummy ship does get better as the games went on. Another is synthesis, which I need to find rare heartless, the mainly the enemy within the group within the entire game. And some were simple with a few guides, others sucked and spent possibly about 2 hours or more trying to get them. Well, trying to get the heartless and then also get the rare item needed. See why synthesis sucks, but it was all worth it for the things you get and being items and weapons. Also, along with the other Kingdom Hearts games, the game just felt better to grind and up to level 100. You also need to beat the game within 11 hours, mainly in the game that is, and also do unchanging armor, which is basically means you can't change anything on you or your allies' equipment at all. I did those two in the beginner playthrough, and honestly, I still have fun trying to see if I can get the game done fast without focusing on side quests, levels, and so on. I managed to do it. I also forgot that there is also a trophy where you have to beat the game without pressing continue, which you can just do low game instead of, but I like to think of it also as doing like beating the game without dying. 2.1% of players have earned the Platinum Trophy for this game, though I feel with the right knowledge, this game isn't too hard to go through. Well, if you're cool with the updated PS2 to PS3, then PS4 remastered to play the game. That is also platformer essentially, almost. This is also my most rare trophy I have ever gotten. More than Bayonetta, surprisingly, with little guys people have had on that game. I love Kingdom Hearts so much. I might make a video based on how much I love it and more of also my overall history with the game and how it changed my life. Not that deep, but definitely opened my eyes to new gaming experiences and probably would have never gotten to know now. Apart from Spider-Man 2 on the PS5 or reliving a Universe 1 for myself again, to then also someday wanting to play my childhood Star Wars game I forever love. I wanted to play the main three Kingdom Hearts games on the PlayStation rather than skewed up experience on Nintendo Switch cloud gameplay. But with that, we have now reached our top 2. So this was a tough choice. There's essentially two platinum trophies that I honestly love to do a very high degree. One is a game that the first ever introduced in is genre gaming, and the other is honestly something that I put a lot of focus on, and it was really special to me. Those two games are Elden Ring and Kingdom Hearts 2. And the more I think on it, I feel though I can put Elden Ring at number 2 and Kingdom Hearts 2 on number 1. Kind of a weird point out how to explain both of them. Weird way to differentiate the two, but I can explain a bit. So Elden Ring is on honestly the same page as Bayonetta, to where a game that I have really no real intention of getting the Platinum Trophy. I just wanted to see the game through and go through its story and then see how I enjoyed it. Especially this being my first ever Soulsborne experience game. I did have Dark Souls 2. I did have Dark Souls the first, that was really the remaster on the Nintendo Switch. Although, as I said, not a very great experience. And based on what you see in past videos, I played Elden Ring a lot. Yes, including its DLC. And yes, that also means I really enjoyed the game a lot to actually do its DLC and try and beat everything. So much so that I still watch challenge videos to this day, especially from two channels that I've really gotten into as of recently, honestly up to last year. Those two channels being both Scumnut and MizuShah's. Two Elden Ring YouTubers that always capture my attention in any other new Elden Ring challenge video. I will focus more on the base game rather than DLC, especially because the DLC doesn't have a trophy list, and really I feel more obligated playing the DLC mainly for myself. When it comes to Elden Ring, I made it a plan to do everything within the game. I can confirm I didn't really do everything, but at least I did the 3 main endings that I had to do, along with a few other endings that kind of correlate or are really under one other ending. And what those endings really are just the Frenzy Flame, Ronnie's New Age of Dark, which I'm hoping that really is the name of it, or just really like the Age of Dark or the Moon or something. And of course, the best ending, really, to me, in my opinion, would be the Elden Lord. The thing I was kind of sought after within, obviously, the beginning of the game. And like I said, there are 3 other Elden Lord endings, I guess, that kind of fall under it, but usually have different other side quests and requirements you have to do. Usually the same thing, you do have a choice, but it really just falls under the same ending. And really, I did get those requirements, but I never fully got them. I guess what kind of brings this whole trophy down is the fact that it's a lot that you have to do, mainly outside of the game, i.e. saving data via PlayStation, which can be a lot and a pain to get through and to kind of understand, but I digress. This game is so good, in fact, that I am replaying the game with a different build, and I did recently play its beta test and really this network test for its new kind of one-off game, Elden Ring Night Rain, as I am still waiting for the game to actually come over since I am waiting for it to be delivered. But I did play the beta test for that game, and I really did enjoy it and its whole mechanics, and honestly just a whole new experience with that whole thing. And Elden Ring, and hopefully there are a lot that goes into the game overall, and likely they also will be looked over if it's worth buying. Apart from that, why do we think Elden Ring is number 2 rather than Kingdom Hearts 2 being in the number 2 spot? A lot of 2s I'm using here. It's hard, but I feel this was a first time experience that honestly has some points. I could not stand some bosses. Some boss types were really annoying and pretty overwhelming, but it isn't even strong enough because I still come back to this game to this day, and I am planning to play it again while waiting for its one-off title. An example though could be Melania. I don't really enjoy her boss fight, and to get to 3 required endings in the game, as I explained before, kind of sucks and kind of a pain to go through, having to go through save data with all that. But I do love this game. In my eyes, I see Elden Ring as a 10 out of 10 game to me, taking the DLC apart from it. I loved the whole month I spent non-stop playing this game. I was, and still am, obsessed with this game to a high degree. Around 10.9% of players have earned the Platinum Trophy, and honestly, apart from the wanting to do everything, it is pretty simple. Just kill main bosses, get some legendary items, only one being missable if you progress too far in the story, and even then, Elden Ring is the biggest game of all time, winning the 2022 Game of the Year. And after my experience, I can see why. And even then, this Platinum Trophy just honestly feels like if you really enjoy this game, why not just go for it? Okay, my number one Platinum Trophy, Kingdom Hearts 2. Now, Kingdom Hearts 3 is a fine game, and its Platinum Trophy was a bit tedious in my experience due to a lot of what pretty much I did in the past two games, and really nothing too challenging apart from playing Remind DLC or making myself suffer on critical mode. Kingdom Hearts 1 in my eyes is a game truly builds up the franchise and where it was, even if it has humble beginnings. I feel it really taps into nostalgia, calm, and honestly really fun experience, even though finding rare Heartless and honestly even playing the game back again. To get 3 trophies that would take some time and be a bit of a chore, but I still love Kingdom Hearts 1. Now Kingdom Hearts 2, for even how overrated it can be, yes, overrated, almost anyone of the series will say Kingdom Hearts 2 is the best there is, and I do believe that. However, my own rant on Kingdom Hearts 1 kind of makes me think that every game has their advantages and disadvantages. KH3 does have his better world. KH1 is a genius in combat and platforming, and honestly, a great start to the entire series. KH2 honestly feels like a great moment for growth, plot, and even challenge. Hell, in terms of character design, I love it. Although honestly KH2 is a perfect, and I will explain why it isn't really a 10 out of 10 for me, but I still see it as my number one platinum. Honestly, even the game should have the most grinding. Even this game has the most grinding, especially when it comes to drive forms. Certain abilities being locked behind these drive forms do suck. Hell, in the original vanilla version of KH2, dodge roll wasn't even a thing. Wilma Farm was brought into the final mix of the games, and I honestly feel KH2 is the game that benefited the most from needing a final mix version. A lot added and changed a bit, and it worked. Now to counter even what I said on the drive gauges, I do think that the different ways of leveling up the drive gauges are usually simple and easy to work with. Like, each drive gauge has certain requirements, and it didn't feel like too much a chore to go through. And usually sometimes it felt like I was killing two birds with one stone. I also had to get certain high scores in certain minigames, which did suck, but honestly it felt fast and easy to get over with rather than just me missing an objective and waiting through an overly long loading screen to get back to. Sorry, KH3. And critical mode. Honestly, it feels more like a challenge rather than making myself suffer, all because why wasn't critical mode in Kingdom Hearts 3 originally, and why did it have to be really suffering? Why did it have to be really suffering? See what complaining gets you? Kingdom Hearts 2, from what I've learned, is more rewarding yet also risky. Enemies are harder, but you do more damage. However, your health is also at minimal compared to the long ass health bar you can see in these games, and a lot of the bosses don't feel overwhelming. Gummy Ship missions probably better than KH1, but harder, more complicated than KH3. Kinda like it. Kingdom Hearts 3 is pretty cool, but the amount of what you do, I learned different as in all different stages too. Yes, we're traveling through space, but KH2 with its stages feel more creative, especially towards the next world you're going to. I can't say the Gummy Ship missions I did was overbearing as hell, but honestly I didn't mind too much. The 13 mushrooms to go over to get their challenges done and getting like the proof and the Keyblade to come along with it. Honestly, it was a pretty fun experience to go through. Usually needed some guides for some mushrooms, but overall I did understand what I needed to do. And with the Cavern of Remembrance was honestly dope. And by the time I got to the Nobody Gauntlet fight, compared to when I played the game on a Switch, I feel like really got to handle the control and gameplay. Limit with allies, magic tactics, drive gauges, and summon tactics. I know Peter Pan is top tier, but my favorite was and most memorable in every video game I played was Genie. Genie was just my dog, my fur lifer, basically just got me out of many situations. I should have went over this for KH1, but you do also do the cups in the Olympus Coliseum. KH1's version is definitely better than 2. 2 was a lot and I didn't really understand the second half of it. mainly for the Hades cups and other halves of the cups too. And honestly, they were a lot more tedious to go through than one, but honestly, the amount of combos I learned and tried myself was pretty cool. Where where Kingdom Hearts 1 has super bosses, Cage 2 has mainly Cage 2 kind of has you face Sephiroth like in both games, although Cage 1 at level 100 Ultimate Weapon was with a bunch of elixirs and also on Proud Mode was just a lot easier to go through. And honestly, in my attempt, kind of felt like a joke. But I honestly pretty much over prepared myself for that. However, Cage 2, it definitely was a problem. And at the same time, I was also just using the Kingdom Key just to mess with them. You also have to beat the entire organization 13 members, but a lot more difficult and than you usually doing in normal gameplay of the story, especially in critical difficulty. Some were stupid easy if you know what you are doing, and others makes you kind of want to strangle them personally. I love you, Axel, but I hate you for your data fight. It's honestly pissed me off a bit. I do say this is better than Cage 3 since it isn't overwhelming blast and teleporting all over the screen and area, whereas sometimes you don't even get the chance to breathe and usually there's like a whole gimmick for you to take advantage of. Looking at you, Demix and Luxort. And my favorite boss in all of gaming, Lingering Will. In my opinion, a truest test of skill of whether or not you truly know the game and you are a Kingdom Hearts 2 master. This boss fight on critical mode has a lot of things tougher than what I could deal with. And what made beating him and honestly after getting the Platinum Trophy felt so much more worth it. I think why I put Kingdom Hearts 2 as my number one spot is because of how much the game connects to me in many moments I've experienced, good and bad. And what also led me to watching several challenge videos based around this one game alone. And yet again, Yoko Shimura and Hikaru Utada are icons, master of masters when it comes to music for this game. A lot of Kingdom Hearts 2 even led to a lot of build up of the games after it. Try not to look at Dream Drop Distance and Recode It, they tried. Even characters go through so much experience, a lot more from the previous game. The series is so much on friendship, light versus darkness, Disney and some occasional Final Fantasy character or moments, and a lot of deeper meanings go into Cage 2. I feel as though there are a lot of characters who grow out of it. Sora, Riku, Kairi, three of them lost their home and they are back together. And not only to confront the darkness, the concept of nobodies, one's existence but a mere shadow of someone else's, not even meaning to exist. What makes a heart and what makes a person with a heart, you really have one thing without the other, and it is forever eternal. But that doesn't mean that doesn't make the person eternal. See what the series has done to me? Madness. 3.3% of players have earned this Platinum Trophy, and honestly, even along with Elden Ring, I would maybe do it again. Those were my top 10 Platinum Trophies I have earned. This video has taken me a while, especially when it comes to writing this script. That way I just don't go on a whole tangent talking about something else apart from the Platinum Trophy. And I still did it anyways. Just in mind, I usually I usually obtain a Platinum Trophy from a game I'm really enjoying. If I am going through like a tough time or it just feels more tedious than it does feel actually, fun, and taking a lot more time than needed, then I usually just won't do it. And because it's both dealing with the DLC and probably feels like overwhelming, sorry, promise questions are done. I still would mess with you. I still mess with you over Millennia, but I just rather actually have enjoying my time rather than just spending money on the DLC and then it's not much for me to do with it. But anywho, what are you guys' favorite games, or you would have completed or not, or you just rather just enjoy alone? Is my list pretty valid? If you agree or disagree with some decisions, please comment down below and like and subscribe if you've made it this far. I'm always streaming again and honestly doing more videos and stuff like this and more experience that I've earned within my life. And of course, sooner or later, I will have that video of my experience with Kingdom Hearts being on Nintendo Switch. Thank you again for watching and see you in the next one.